Everyone, and welcome to the special simulcast, the Neil Haley Show and celebrity interviews live from the Grotto. Without Greg Hanna today, my co-host, but my guest today, and thank Toss C3, is Hobart, and he's going to talk about the new movie, I Am Ryan. How are you, Hobart? I want to kind of talk about a little bit of your background first, because it's really intriguing, some of the stuff you do, and then how you came up with this idea for this film.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so let's talk about how you got started in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, so in 2012, I decided it was time for me to move from Illinois, central Illinois, by the way, the cornfields, to LA to chase down that music dream. And so I had a couple options, a couple studios I was going to work in as like a studio musician and chase that down. And as I got out here, I realized there's a lot of downtime. So I better start submitting myself for like acting commercials and things like that. And it turned out I've got all my teeth. I kind of look like some celebrities. I started getting a lot of commercial work. And so that led into more acting and the writing, and the music took off and it was all good. But that's how I got here, is because I got bored.
So let's talk about the music career and what you've been doing, what you've been able to accomplish.
Yeah. So some of my highlights that I would say would be I got to play in the Vans Warped Tour. That was a big get for me coming from rock and roll. That was one of the biggest things I've done. I've been able to play over in Asia. I played literally like over 1,000 shows here in America, done the tours, all that fun stuff. Licensed game, video game music, like Deadpool, the video game, which is funny because Ryan Reynolds. I've done the other video game was Rock Band. Do you remember that one? Yeah. Rock Band, Guitar Hero, all that fun stuff. And then of course you're licensing to MTV, ESPN, fun stuff like that. So I've been super fortunate, just to keep going.
And on the acting side, talk about that a little bit. Some of the acting you've been doing. Yeah.
So that's just been a big paradigm shift. So really the legit like theatrical acting, this is my first one ever. I wrote the script. I cast myself as the lead, that sort of thing. So I've got no business being an actor, but I have done a lot of commercials like, for like Walmart and Microsoft. Those are the big ones, ZipRecruiter, all that fun stuff. So I've done a lot of commercial work before, but this is like my first big movie that's going to be in theaters and everything. And I'm super stoked about it.
So you basically came up with the idea. So this is where filmmakers have to look at that. You never know the opportunity. You come up with this idea. You say, I'm going to make this film, but it's not that easy. There's a lot more to it. Go ahead.
No. So back in 2017, I came up with this idea because whether you can see it or not, I slightly resemble Mr. Ryan Reynolds, the Deadpool himself, just a little bit. And my whole life has been that, especially in Hollywood, where people are like, you're kind of the Temu version, you're the Wish version of Ryan Reynolds, you're the American version of Mr. Reynolds. So we're going to hire you, that sort of thing. So that's been my whole life. So the whole gist of this movie was, what if there was a guy who looked like him that would take all the crappy jobs that he wouldn't do, like a bar opening, like a terrible charity, a hat company, silly things like that appear in the movie. So that was the whole idea. So 2017, I came up with it. I kept pitching it around. And then finally, I met Carl Jackson of Carl Jackson Studios. And he's like, that's brilliant. We can fund that. We'll make that happen. When do you want to shoot? And I was like, no stinking way. Let's do this. So we shot in August last year.
Okay, so going and asking people for funding, that's not easy. But you found someone to fund it completely.
Right.
That's not a normal story.
No. So what the whole, I'm very transparent in how it all happened and stuff is that Carl Jackson found me because he was trying to cast me for a movie called Virtual Time. And so he cast me in this movie, and then him and I just got to talking, and he realized, he's like, okay, you do a lot of stuff. You do a lot of music. You do some acting and writing. Do you have anything you're working on? And so I pitched him the idea, and he was like, okay, here's the deal. We'll split it 50-50 because it's my project, but give me 50% of it and I'll take care of it. And he did. And so now that's awesome. That's a really not normal way to go about things, but Hollywood's not normal.
No.
Nothing is like, this is what you got to do to get to there, because nobody has the same story.
No, absolutely no one has the same story. So you just never know the opportunity and when it comes up. So you go and do this. So let's talk about the storyline, but then kind of joke around with things too, because we can call out. I was looking at your social media. I'm laughing my butt off with the different songs you're playing and about Ryan Reynolds. So we're gonna jump into that, but let's talk about just the kind of the premise of the movie and all those things, taking the bad jobs that Ryan doesn't want.
Right. So My character is Brian Reynolds with a B. That's kind of the funny thing. It's like the guy's name was actually Brian Reynolds. There's a skeezy manager who finds him in Hollywood. Brian makes his way to Hollywood for a whole nother thing. I won't even get into it. But he's not looking to act. He's not doing anything like that. But he ends up in Hollywood. This skeezy actor finds him at a bus stop and says, "Hey, yeah, I'm here to pick you up." And then he takes him into his home that his parents, he lives with his parents, of course, and starts pitching him for jobs that Ryan won't do. He's like, "Hey, I've got Ryan Reynolds here," that sort of thing. So it's all parody. It's fun. And yeah, I do some terrible jobs that Ryan wouldn't do. And that's the whole premise.
Okay, so and you pretend that Ryan's part of this, right? In the
Right,
story.
right,
The storyline.
exactly. So yeah, Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds, and it's funny as you go on because some people are like, he doesn't quite look right, and the manager's like, "Oh, that's just the camera. The cameras make him look like that. This is the real him." That sort of thing.
And do you have it like you're talking to Ryan at all in the movie?
No,
Or
no, 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 of
no?
course not.
So
Ryan does have a connection because the skeezy manager is actually like an intern at like a management agency, and he got fired, and they did work with Ryan. So he does have some insight to Ryan and where he is and why he's not around and stuff. So there is a connection.
I find this funny. And I mean, again, Ryan Reynolds fans are going to love this. And they're
Yes.
going to love the.
And
What
we
do you think of you and putting this comedy part of it? Like, as a musician, now
yeah.
putting the full time acting, being the lead in something,
Yeah.
now looking at your comedy skill sets. What do you think? What do you rate them?
Well, it's a 10 out of 10. And I have to say that because I've been given great opportunities before to act with like Vet TV, if you've ever seen them. And they're like irreverent, like comedy for veterans and stuff. And I love it. And I've been a host at Live Play Bingo for 6 years. And that's all comedy and improv. So they've made me a monster, like with just being funny. I've always been kind of funny, but this is just the improv has made me like an animal. So 10 out of 10 on comedy. But I'm so sorry, guys. I'm not going to do stand up. I had a good childhood, so I can't do stand up. This is just me.
All right. So now you're playing off this with Ryan, and this is really good on your Instagram account. Explain what you're doing because I think
Yeah.
it's really ingenious way to do it. You're
Yep.
going to get the people to understand when you post on social media, more and more people are going to see it, and before you know it, someone else will know about it. And
Right.
that's what you're doing in this daily post. Explain it.
So what's happening is we're being smart with the marketing budget and everything like that. This is totally free. So what I'm doing is I'm tagging Ryan Reynolds every day, and it's really going to pick up here as the movie comes out May 22nd. It's really going to pick up where I might do 2 a day, where I'm posting every day where I put up a nostalgic song that you guys remember from like the 70s, 80s, 90s today. So people already are like, "Oh yeah, it feels good." And I'm just kind of cruising to it, just kind of dancing a little bit while saying, "Mr. Reynolds, I'm waiting for you to endorse this movie. Like I'm going to post every day until you endorse the movie." Now, if he's smart, he does nothing. So that way, just, there's no tie to him. But if he reacts to it, that's hilarious.
And you don't know if he will or not.
So my theory is they know because a little while ago, and this is my villain origin story, by the way, Ryan Reynolds' account followed me. I think it was August last year. He followed me for like a day. And I'm like, who am I? That's hilarious. And then all of a sudden I got blocked from Instagram from him. And I'm like, one of his people saw me doing this crazy stuff. And but then he unblocked me. But that's my villain origin story. So if you ask me, Hobart, when did your rise really start? August 5th. That was the day.
So you've been promoting it since August 5th, this thing.
I've been really doing it since like November. November is like really when I came out for the movie.
That's cool. No, that's the power. But here's a strategy you can look at. Are you doing this on every platform or just on Instagram?
Just on Instagram. I have a TikTok as well, which I could definitely really bolster on that too. But TikTok's been weird with my posts, if you know what I'm saying. They ask me, do you want to promote this for $20 or something like that? And I always say no. And then all of a sudden you get like 200 views on it versus like the 2,000 you would normally get. So I'm a little suspicious.
So the reason is here it's like a lottery. Okay.
Yeah.
200, 200, 200. I have one client had 0 followers on TikTok. We just were building it out. NHL wraparound podcast, kept posting, and then they get the final thing, and then you get the roulette wheel, And then when that wheel hits, boom,
Yeah.
70,000, 100,000. So I would just start posting on TikTok as more times, just take every one of the content out and post it on TikTok. But also I would look at YouTube.
Mhm.
YouTube is another great platform because you can post as many times as you want on YouTube, and they want natively. They don't want you to schedule. They just started that algorithm change a
Oh.
month or 2 months ago, and I was shocked. Literally, I would, schedule my clients with shorts, and then the
Mhm.
shorts were getting this amount, and then they dropped. And I said, "What's going on here?"
Right.
So then I started posting and just kept posting, and I kept getting views. And I'm like, "What's happening here?" They don't want them scheduled anymore. On the
Not
short side, it probably long form, probably not the same thing, but
okay.
I would go for it, and I
I'm gonna
would,
do it.
you just got to go all out everywhere.
Okay, you have my word, Neil. You have my word. I'm gonna do TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube
YouTube,
every day, and
yes.
we're gonna get
And also,
thousands.
Facebook gets a great, huge organic too. I'm making you, but you could just schedule that. Facebook is just absolutely, and it goes to a roulette wheel now too,
Nice,
where the business page will pop out with a big numbers,
gotcha.
100K.
Okay.
So, and then also you should be tagging Ryan Reynolds fan
Oh, I do.
clubs.
I
You
do.
do?
Van City Reynolds, baby. I know it by heart. Yeah.
What do they think? Is there groups? You should go to those groups on Facebook and say, "Come
Oh,
on
yeah.
now."
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's
Eh,
going to get nasty. The marketing is going to get so much more intense here now that we're getting to May. I'm so excited. We want to do this viral thing, and we can thank my publicist Anna. She like kind of rounded this out. We need to do a viral video of a bunch of Ryan Reynolds lookalikes just picketing just outside somewhere, and just use that for the movie. People will see it, and I think that's a great idea.
I love it. I mean, see, that's the kind of stuff, and then that virality hits. But
Yep.
and the music, and continue to add your music. I like how you're doing like a type of 80s stuff. I saw different types of
Yeah.
music. It
Yeah.
didn't, but
Just
every
all
day.
nostalgia, just stuff that you would remember.
Yeah,
It could be the
yeah,
Beatles, it could be Prince, it could be whatever.
yeah. Yeah, and that's it. But I would just full force.
Yeah.
And would your film ever go to a film festival? I'm just asking
Yeah.
that question. You would?
Yes. And we went,
I already got one that's coming up in September you can apply to.
please send
Radiate
us.
Radiate TV,
Okay.
RAYD8.TV,
Okay.
and all that.
Perfect. Yes, we're going to do that. We weren't. And then after we did the preview and the screeners and people saw it and they were like, this is funny. We are like, okay, so we're doing theater for sure. We'll go to streaming and stuff, but we have to do the film festivals because that's a whole nother audience. That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's going to be in September in LA.
Cool.
I'll send it to Anna,
Please.
and yeah. So I'm getting involved in all that stuff, but I'm rooting for you on this because I mean I think it's hilarious. It's
Thank you.
such a great idea, and if
It's,
somehow Ryan gets involved, bam,
I
it's
know.
over.
Can you imagine? Like maybe he doesn't for the first one, but the second one we already have written. We're ready to go. If people like this, we're ready to fire off the second one. The funny thing is, yeah. So I composed all the music for this as well. I would say honestly, acting and doing the movie, writing it was easier than actually composing for it. And music is my forte. That's my background. But composing the actual music for this was like way harder than I thought it would be. And I accidentally created a new genre of music I call bossa nova marching band. And so the music is hilarious. It's like bossa nova, like the old Austin Powers kind of groove,
Yeah.
but with big old college marching band drums. It's something else. It's wild.
Well, all right. So this is me giving these ideas, and it's just because I'm a marketer myself. But
Yeah.
I love your humble. But guess what? It's coming, and then so also involve that music, and I would start doing some spoofs of Ryan Reynolds films down the line later too.
Oh man, yeah. Wouldn't it be great?
And the different things. Find all the Deadpool fans.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
exactly.
See,
That's
that's the
the
thing. There's those communities and all that stuff. Now, when you played this, you probably wanted to crack up all the time when a specific gig. We don't want
yes,
to give it up in the movie of
yes,
things that Ryan wouldn't do
right.
and endorse. But that story is a very interesting thing. What would you, Hobart, not endorse?
In general, oh my gosh, if they came to me and it was some sort of adult paraphernalia and said, "Hey, would you promote this adult paraphernalia?" I wouldn't do it. But if there is a Hobart, doppelganger out there, guys, go ahead, get down.
See, you better watch. So you got to find another doppelganger.
Yeah, we need the next step down, the Timu version. I don't even know what that would be.
And then also play around the people that are big stars of some of Ryan's films.
Well,
So
that's what.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and then say, oh, by the way, and all that.
You're reading my mind. We've already done it. It's in the movie. Enjoy.
Really? Oh man, I can't wait. All right, so this final question is for my co-host that's not here today, and this is a really deep, deep question. Comes from Greg Hanna from Toss C3. So Hobart or Brian, tell me what's no. We'll go with both plays. First, what one play is Hobart. What is the most important thing in life you've ever learned?
The most important thing in life you ever learn: time management. Because we can make more money, we can do whatever we want, we can, but it's impossible to get more time. We all have a finite number. So manage your time wisely, put your family here, your business here, your fun here, all that fun stuff, and life gets a lot easier as you go.
Now, this question's for Brian Reynolds. What is the most important thing in life you've ever learned?
For Brian Reynolds, uh, hot dogs on Hollywood Boulevard will give you hepatitis.
All right. And so the film comes out, you said May 21st?
May 22nd, it is in theaters. I just got the list of the first theaters that picked it up. I'm so excited. It's actually real. It's going to be in theaters. I can't wait to see my big fat head on the silver screen. It's going to be wild.
And then after that, then it'll be in VOD and all that different stuff.
Exactly. You got it.
All right. Well, appreciate it, Hobart. Thanks again. That was a special simulcast, the Neil Haley Show and celebrity interviews live from the Grotto with Greg Hanna, guys. Take care.